Rome entered the 2nd century as a machine of endless, bloody conquest. Its next leader was an orphaned intellectual youth who preferred poetry over combat, a boy the elite mockingly called the Greekling. By 117 CE, Roman legions had pushed the empire's borders further than ever before, but these frontiers were dangerously overextended in the east. As Trajan's health failed during his Mesopotamian campaign, he had yet to designate a successor. Trajan died suddenly, followed immediately by an announcement that he had adopted Hadrian on his deathbed. Rumors quickly spread that Empress Plotina had orchestrated the adoption herself, forging the documents while the emperor lay dead. This secretive, dubious transition created immediate instability. Hadrian held the title of emperor, but he lacked the military prestige and clear legitimacy required to secure the throne. The Roman Senate viewed this scholar from the provinces with deep suspicion. They questioned his military record and the suspicious circumstances of his sudden rise to power. Hadrian secured his position through a swift, clinical purge. Before reaching Rome, 4 prominent senators were hunted down and executed without a trial. The bearded, sophisticated philosopher seen in these marble busts was the public image Hadrian cultivated. Behind it lay a man who had just decapitated the senatorial opposition. He deflected the blame for the murders onto his commanding prefect, and simultaneously canceled massive amounts of private debt owed to the state to pacify the remaining elite. Rome's elite quickly discovered that their new philosopher-emperor possessed a terrifying pragmatic capacity for violence. Hadrian immediately halted Rome's expansion, ordering the legions to abandon Trajan's most precarious eastern conquests. He was finished with the policy of endless growth. He shifted the empire's focus to defensive consolidation. In Britain, he commissioned this massive 73-mile stone barrier to physically separate the Roman world from the northern tribes. He spent more than half his 21-year reign traveling, inspecting every province and military camp in person. He was a traveling emperor who ruled from the frontiers rather than the palace. Hadrian prioritized internal discipline and strict boundary control. He exchanged the glory of new conquests for the long-term security of an imperial fortress. The wealth saved from halting offensive wars funded a massive building program. In Rome, Hadrian rebuilt the Pantheon, creating an unreinforced concrete dome that remains a feat of engineering today. He used architecture to mirror the scale of the empire. At his imperial retreat in Tivoli, he blended Egyptian, Greek, and Roman styles, creating a private world that gathered the cultures of his travels into one landscape. His domestic life remained a hollow, childless political arrangement. His marriage to Empress Vithia Sabina lasted nearly 40 years without apparent affection. Hadrian's true emotional focus was Antinous, a young Greek companion who traveled by the emperor's side as his close lover and confidant. In 130 CE, Antinous mysteriously drowned in the Nile. The loss shattered the emperor, who broke all Roman protocol to weep openly before his court. Hadrian used his power to defy the youth's mortality. He declared Antinous a god, built a city in his honor, and established a religious cult that spread rapidly across the Eastern Empire. Hadrian's devotion to Greek culture had a darker application. He sought to unify the empire through forced Greco-Roman assimilation, leaving no room for resistance. In Judea, he banned circumcision and ordered a temple to Jupiter built over the ruins of the Jewish Holy Temple. This aggressive cultural erasure triggered the massive Bar Kokhba rebellion. The patron of the arts responded with a scorched earth campaign. Hadrian took personal command, coordinating a multi-year war to annihilate the resistance. Roman legions slaughtered an estimated 580,000 people and razed nearly 1,000 villages. To erase the region's history, Hadrian renamed the province Syria Palestina. The Builder Emperor annihilated an entire civilization because it refused to fit within his rigid vision of a unified Roman world. Hadrian spent his final years suffering from a painful illness at his villa in Baiae. As his health failed, he became increasingly paranoid, desperate to protect his dynastic line. He ordered a final act of domestic bloodshed, executing his 90-year-old brother-in-law to eliminate any possible challenge to his heirs. He engineered a multi-generational succession plan, adopting Antoninus Pius on the condition that he, in turn, adopt the young Marcus Aurelius. Upon his death in 138 CE, Hadrian was interred in the massive cylindrical mausoleum he designed for himself on the banks of the Tiber. The stability, architecture, and laws Hadrian left behind anchored the empire for a century. He secured every one of them through the same clinical violence that marked his first days in power.